Welcome back. Well, a week-long series of free events that explore contrasting cultures, international languages, and divergent ideas at the heart of what makes us human are taking place.
Jerome Dotson and Helen Bernard are here to tell us all about Humanities Week. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So when we say Humanities Week, that really could be so very broad. So what can people kind of expect out of this week?
Well, we'd like to tell people about what we do in the humanities. And basically, we look at cultures, and we look at the people in these cultures and their literature and their history. And so if you look at our week of events, we have a talk that probably touches on each of those topics.
Yeah, and we were saying even on break, just so many topics are going to be covered during this week. Subjects like diet and even slavery in American South. So how are these topics really going to fit into that Humanities Week?
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, that talk you're talking about in particular is what I'm giving tonight. And one of the interesting things I think about food that a lot of us don't really think about these days is all the food we eat has meaning. And in particular, when we talk about things like pork and diet, et cetera, in the South, even for slaveholders back in, say, the 1800s, the food they provided these slaves, they also intended for it to have a kind of symbolic meaning as well attached to it. So tonight, that's what I'll touch on is, if you will, the ways that, if you will, these folks try to both provide food and rations, but also impose hierarchy as well, that kind of thing.
We were kind of talking during commercial break
Right.
that just the title of your speech is, you know, kind of like we're not sure how that comes together.
Sure.
But that's what is kind of intriguing about it. That's what these talks are meant to do, is to kind of get you to think or to learn something new you may not have known. So when we're talking about humanities, how does that really just broadly intertwine with society in general?
That's interesting. I think that for me, one of the things, being a professor in Africana studies, that I try and stress to the students is that we can use, say, the skills we have, be it analyzing a document or music, to reapply those to, say, a broader society. So even, say, a writing assignment or something small like that, we end up trying to sort of make the skill transferable, right? So that even if they're not, say, going into Africana studies like I did, that certainly they could work for Amazon, as I have some students who did, or work for Yahoo, et cetera. Yeah.
There's so many layers that we can cover in this wide genre. So is that, Helen, why it's so important that we dedicate an entire week to this?
It is. It is. I think this week is called, found in translation. And what we found is people keep asking us, well, what exactly does that mean? And there's the literal translating words, but oftentimes what you need to do is look at the culture that the words are situated in. So, again, last night we had somebody from German Studies, David Gramling, and he used the phrase, he got the wind knocked out of him. And so it's those idioms that to other people seem odd if you don't know the culture and you don't know the context of them.
So who are we actually hoping will come and attend these different talks?
This is actually open to everyone. It's open to the public. We do have just 2 days left, but we have some great events. We have obviously Jerome tonight. We also have somebody from French and Italian speaking about translating in a culture. Tomorrow we have David Peets from East Asian Studies, who's going to talk about the history of water in China, which is particularly interesting in the Southwest because they have had a lot of drought problems as well and drought issues. So I think people in the Southwest could really relate to that. And then our finale is Anna Karenina on the big screen. And this is actually really interesting. The professor who's kind of been putting this together has watched Anna Karenina in different languages from across, just from various countries. And so what she's going to do is she's going to show you how you have a text that's universal, but how people translate it when they're putting it on the big screen. So
wow, very
pretty
cool.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, we're just about out of time, but I'm just curious, how long has Humanities Week been going on?
A week, yeah. It's always in October because it's National Humanities Month, and it started on Monday, the 5th through the 9th, okay. And so, yeah.
Well, it's going to be an amazing week. Some really incredible topics that we're going to be covering. I want to thank you both so much for being here today to tell us more about it.
Thank you.
And to get in touch with the College of Humanities for their events or more information, you can call 626-4319 or visit hw.arizona.edu.